Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bearded 40K as we continue talking our ongoing conversation on the Genestealer cults, their tactics, what's going on with them in the meta, the gaming community as a whole, all that good stuff. So the state of the cult address. Today is just a quick video to talk about, I haven't been posting very much. I apologize for that, but I've been busy. As soon as I started this video, I thought I would have more downtime this time of the year. But I've been staying pretty busy, actually. And there's also the fact that we still don't have our codex. Now, the interesting thing is that the Deathwatch previews are being leaked now. The Deathwatch Codex is coming out. And so a lot of people are saying, hey, it's not going to be in this wave, but in the next wave, we're going to get our Genestealer Cult Codex finally. And that's just pure speculation. People are saying that, traditionally, the Genestealer cults have been grouped in with the Deathwatch. And the fact of the matter is there is no real tradition with the Genestealer cults right now. They got no support. That's the tradition. For years and years, there were no Genestealer cults, and then they were brought back last edition, and, right towards the end of 7th, and we got, the Deathwatch release at the same time and everything with the board game. But just because Deathwatch is coming out does not mean that, we're going to be in the next releases and all that good stuff. I don't know. I don't think that we are much of a priority army for GW. There's not a lot of players. There's not a lot of blogs, of YouTube channels, and all that dedicated to the cult. It's just not the number one seller for them. It's not flying off the shelves. So I would take some of that with a grain of salt that you're hearing, if you've been hearing these rumors. I'm hoping that the Codex does come soon. I'm hoping that it breathes some life into the cult and invigorates, the player base. If they were to suddenly become a top meta army, which could happen because we're one of the only ones that have that deep strike shenanigans going on now, suddenly they would matter. And GW does have a tradition of that. So if we're talking about traditions that GW has, it's taking units that have not traditionally sold well and then suddenly making them really good for a couple months until they FAQ the hell out of them, and then they go back on the shelves. So, maybe that'll happen. I don't know. But so far, there has been no official GW Genestealer Cult information coming out. So that leaves me here. This is a quick video. The thing about it is with this lack of, life in the cult, in the greater 40K tabletops of Terra, where we play our games, what would you like to see from me? In the time that I do have when I can sit down and make a video, what kinds of things would you be interested in seeing that would basically help you in your cult, or make you think about things in maybe a different way? I'm interested to know your thoughts on that. For me personally, with things being as busy as they are, I'm becoming more and more interested in kill team and things like that. Smaller skirmish games like Necromunda, that is starting to fit more and more up my alley. I've always liked the fluff more than the tabletop. I've had to think in a competitive way simply because of where I live. That's what everybody focuses on. And in order to play with them, it's not fun to just get wiped off the table every 5 minutes, So that's why I've kind of been making the Tactica videos the way that I have. So while we're waiting for our codex, what do you want to see? What would help you out? I've had some people tell me battle reports might be an interesting thing, and it's something to consider, but the way that my filming setup is, I run everything off of just my cell phone. That's what's recording this right now. Just take a picture, blow it up, use DU screen recorder, and talk into that for a little bit, and then upload it to YouTube. So battle reports, if I were to do those, would be just plain still shots. And I've thought about that, and I've looked and seen people doing those on YouTube. They are not the most riveting and entertaining subject matter to sit down and watch. It just doesn't immerse people. It's not the best, content to be putting out there. If you're interested in that, let me know. I could consider that. But again, what I'm talking about with the time being an issue, fuller games are getting harder and harder to get anyway. So I'm very interested in this kill team. I've little by little been putting bits together for my kill team Alpha Legion that I told you guys I was going to build back when the very beginning of the channel. And so I'm working on those. I don't have anything painted up yet. I guess I could share some photos of those. I've been finding interesting bits. Like I said, the inspiration for my kill team is the Rogue Trader days, basically. And I think of it like in terms of the scouring. So that time period in the fluff between the Heresy and the modern day 40K that has been played since, the 1980s. And so I wanted to play a time period right before that, where there's all that unexplored time period, all this kind of crazy stuff happening, the Primarchs dying and the forming of the Inquisition and all this kind of fun lore heavy kind of narrative play that is an opportunity that's never really been explored by the community. So I've been buying things like I got some bolters, like the Umbra pattern, kind of like what you would see with the Mark VI, but they're the actual 1989 issue bolters. So I think they were from Necromunda, actually. They actually have stocks on them. Most bolters, have never had stocks on them, on the butt of the rifle, which is kind of weird, to think about. I guess in power armor, you wouldn't need all that. But I like them. I think that they're kind of kooky, and I like that wombly kind of thing with the Mark VI. I just think that that's kind of the way to go. So if you're interested in seeing that kind of stuff, let me know. I can keep you up to date as I'm building and painting the Alpha Legion kill team. Still waiting on rules for the kill team, so who knows, everything I build might become useless, but I'm putting all my eggs in that basket right now as I'm waiting, and as far as things are going with the cult, it's really interesting because this FAQ that came out, if you remember back, I talked about this attempt that it seems that GW is doing to kill Soup, and it's been a really interesting thing there because I've tried multiple times to contact GW to get clarification on that rule. The rule has two parts. It has, in the FAQ, there's a little sentence about why they wrote that, and then there's the actual rule itself. And so I'm still kind of conflicted on that. I'm still waiting on a ruling on that. I've contacted GW by phone. They've declined to clarify. I've contacted GW multiple times through their Warhammer community page, and the reactions have been a mix of decline and just plain ignore. So no ruling on that yet. And it seems like, hey, this should be something that is very simple. But the Warhammer community page, people that run that are not the same people that are writing the rules. So even if they were to say something, it is not from the people themselves that had an intention when they sat down and wrote that rule. So just random thoughts, just throwing those things out at you guys. So let me know in the time that I have, when I can sit down and make a video, what would you like it to be? Are you into things like Math Hammer? Did you like that dice video I posted? Have you even seen that? It doesn't seem to be something that a lot of people are searching for, but I do think it's an important thing to consider. We're relying on numbers for our games, and things like math, all of that are useful. The dice themselves are crucial to understand, what's going on there. So is that something that you're interested in? Are you interested in this kill team build that I'm doing? If they were to drop kill team updates tomorrow and I went out and bought that, would you be interested in, me building a kill team? I've wanted to play Necromunda. In my area, there is nobody playing Necromunda. So I've been interested in bringing the cult into that since that White Dwarf release that happened. But so far, there doesn't seem to be many people playing Necromunda. So I haven't put an army or a little thing together with that. I have some cool ideas for that, actually. One thing that Necromunda has done for a long time is they have the Juves, the Escher Juves and the Goliath Juves. They would be maybe smaller models, and that goes back to like the orc days, the days where the orcs had Juves and stuff like that from their little separate games. So one thing that I've thought about with the cult is taking the what's it called? The familiars that come, with in the Overkill box set, and making those into Juves. And it would be kind of fluffy and funny and cool because you could almost make like a baby Primus and explain his lack of super killing that way. So he wouldn't be directly comparable to a Primus from a tabletop game of 40K, but he is stronger than anything else in your Necromunda army. And so that would kind of explain it a little bit. He's got, super reflexes. He's, good for maybe up close and stuff. So using that as your, commander, building one of those. So I have a lot of thoughts about the 40K universe and the games and things like that. And the channel is still new. It hasn't been around that long. It's like less than 20 videos, I think, still. So what is it that you would like? Let me know. What kind of things would serve you in this hobby? Because we are the black sheep, basically. We are the ones that do not have dedicated forums for our armies and a long lineage of, traditional play styles and lore and all this kind of stuff. It was there in the beginning and then disappeared. And so we are a unique group, and I would like this page to serve the people that are like myself, that are into some of these kind of fringe aspects of the 40K world and the tabletop, So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll continue. I hope you enjoyed this State of the Cult address, and I'll be talking to you again soon next time. Take care, guys. This is Bearded 40K signing out.